Hey y'all, welcome to another episode of the Ashley Williams Show. I am so excited that y'all are back. If you are a returner, please make sure that you're subscribed. If you're not, I want everybody to pause the video, double check, subscribe right now, go ahead and like it. Comment if you're a first time or a returner so I know below. But y'all, today, I'm super excited. God has really blessed me in the sense of who he's allowed me to come in contact with to bring on this show. Y'all, the content never misses, and that's because of the people that have been placed into my life. This one is special, y'all. I'm so excited to have Sydnie West of the number one. I'm claiming it for you.
Yes.
Plus size denim brand in the whole wide world.
Yes.
West McCoy.
Yes. Ashley, I'm so glad you invited me on the show.
No.
And when I got that good old email, I was like, me?
Yes, you.
So I truly appreciate that.
Yes. So one of the things that I admire about you, I met you in January.
Yes.
At Pinky's American Sesh, like her new TV show situation.
Yep.
And you are always either on live, I'm either seeing your posts, you're on live stories, everything. I'm like, she's so consistent. How she just do that? Hear me one wheel a week. I might say hey on my stories, but I just appreciate your dedication to your brand. So that's what made me want to reach out. But then we talked the other day.
That was a whole vibe.
Sis got a word.
I try to have a word. I be speaking to other than myself.
Yes. So I want people to get to know you. So but I want you to do an introduction, but we do it a little spicy here.
Okay.
So you have lemonade, and we turn lemons to lemonade over here.
Okay.
Millennials, challenges. So I didn't tell you this yesterday. I apologize, but I'm going to put you on the spot.
Yeah.
I want you to share your lemon to lemonade story. So, or it doesn't have to be the story. You can, whichever way you choose, but the concept is a trial that you've turned into a triumph.
So the lemon was starting a men's bow tie company called West McCoy and selling that. My business partner is still my best friend, my longest best friend of 33 years. Her mother passing and leaving the company, she handed over the company. God told her, you're going to hand it over to Sydnie. No, we signed the paperwork. That was it. And me being on my own. And now this year in 2024, last year, actually February 23rd and 24th, we launched for the very first time as a plus size denim, the first plus size denim brand based out of Atlanta, Georgia. And now we have tons of Real McCoys, which is our community. And we sell plus size denim, the perfect fitting plus size denim from jackets, jeans, skirts, dresses, all of the things denim.
Yeah. So I tried to wear my denim today. So when Sydnie and I met, I had on I want her to sponsor me. We gonna need to work together.
Yeah, we do.
We're gonna have to.
And that was my first mentor.
Yes.
Fashion mentor.
Yes, we're gonna talk about mentors.
Yep.
But I had on an outfit from her brand, and that's how we met. You be like, hold on. Where is that from? And she and I instantly connected. So I have on the brand again today. And it also it's also denim in honor of Wes McCoy.
This is divine intervention.
Yeah.
Because she's
God
my mentor.
Is in it. There is no limit.
I'm telling you. Jess gonna be like, this girl's crazy. I'll be like, well, it is what it is.
Yes.
I definitely feel like it's divine intervention.
I do.
Because she was my first fashion mentor.
Ooh.
First. And she was amazing. Still amazing. I can always reach out to her. Got so much knowledge from her. She used to pray on the calls. That's what got me to use my stimulus money to book her.
Wow. So mentor, I think a lot of people throw that around, but there's not a lot of. You're supposed to clink the glasses together. I always forget. We were supposed to cheers.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, Sydnie, I love that story.
Oh, this something is popping. From lemons to lemonade. They gonna be like.
I love you. Oh my gosh. So you just spoke about just being your mentor, and I think that's a great conversation because a lot of people throw out that word, get a mentor, but I don't think there's enough language around what that relationship should look like.
Yep.
Like, what do I bring to it? Am I always asking questions? Am I giving back to that person? So how would you describe a mentor-mentee relationship that both people can benefit from?
So the number one thing I would say when it comes to a mentor-mentee relationship is don't go in thinking it's like he or she is your fairy godmother or godfather. They're not the end all be all for your success because you still have to do the work. So, and a lot of people don't want to do they don't realize all the work and the in between, the crying, the putting fires out, problem solving, making definitive decisions in your business. So a lot of stuff on behind the scenes is like in today's world of social media, a lot of people see these snippets or like reels or little short recaps about something, but you don't know. It be ghetto behind the scenes.
Girl.
And I'd be like, honey, get somebody else to do it. I'd be like, I know God, you got a calling on my life. But I don't think you asked for me. You know, I know you'd be like, look, I get my strongest soldiers, but I think that's the biggest thing. And then come in with when you're talking about, so when I was praying for Jess, I didn't know I was praying for Jess, but I was praying for a mentor that could help me transition from being, now I am the only owner of this brand, and that can teach me fashion, teach me the business part, but also the manufacturing, product development, production aspect of fashion, because I didn't go to school and I knew that I had just got my MBA in marketing. So I was like, I'm not going back to school to run up my student loan debt even further. So I had expectation, and your expectation and your needs for a mentor may be different from my needs. So I'm coming in like, hey, I need someone that can help me understand the whole process of product development, production. Now, on the marketing part, even though I'm still growing, I worked in television from 2011 till last year, February 1st, when I quit my job. I gave a 2-month notice. So I came in knowing like, okay, with Jess, and this is before I quit. This was in the pandemic. I was like, hey, God, I'm needing someone to help, to give me that guidance, but then also help me with accounting, bookkeeping, make sure I'm paying my taxes. Also someone that I can get deep and not surface level questions, because I'm going to ask the questions. Also, I'm going to do the research as well. So, and I think that's a key part into navigating being a business owner, is that you have to do the research. As much as we have now, all these mentors, coaches, life coaches, all that stuff like that, we didn't have that when I first started in 2015. I got laid off from my job in television, and me and McCoy we were very resourceful. We figured it out. There was no coaches. A lot of people were like, withholding information. And so with me, I give it freely, because what's for me is for me. God has amazing blessings coming for me. And so if I can share and tell you like the journey of things, you know, being a struggle, what lessons I've learned, so you don't have to make the same mistakes, then I'm going to do that, because that's what I'm called to do as well. Like Wes McCoy is a plus size in a brand, but it's also up to me to serve and pay it forward as well.
That's so good. I think another thing about mentorship is you speaking to essentially having to be ready to receive the information, right? Like, I'm doing the research, I'm asking the questions, I'm coming to these conversations prepared. What do you do when you feel like this is a good mentor? This is who God has called to be in my life at this moment. But this piece of information may not work for me. So how do you figure out, okay, what do I take? What do I leave? How do I include this in? Is everything my mentor is saying, am I supposed to go listen to all of that? Like, how do you navigate that?
So with Jess, and right now I have my mentor, Jance Charté. She's amazing, which I found out about Jance through Jess. So I have always came in and they've given me free reign to ask any questions. When they're telling you to ask the questions, like in real time, Jance and Jess was like this as well. Oh, you're going through this? Now I'm going to specialize it for what your needs are at this moment in time. I think the course is just an overall guideline as in totality, but until you get in the weeds of a particular situation, you don't know what to ask. You have to go back. And even now I have the coursework for Jance and Boutique Academy. And I want to be like, go to module 1, 2, 3. I can't do that. I may have to be like, okay, at this point in time, I need to learn marketing. So let me go ahead and hit the marketing, go ahead and do the marketing module. But then we have calls every other week. So on Wednesdays, before Wednesdays, I'm submitting questions because she allows you to do that. And then she works with you in real time. So you have to basically use the resource that you got. They're a resource. So whatever you're going through at that moment in time, focus on that. So I do say ask the question. I hope that I answered that question for you. Well,
So, you did. I think that's important. Like, I talked about this on the last episode. Like, the idea of, yes, a mentor has a wealth of knowledge, but it's up to you to essentially figure out what it is you don't know. And not just say, oh, hey, how you doing? I'm just here to talk to you today. What do you have for me? No, what do you need from me?
And they want to. I've had coaches, Jance included, Jess included. They want you to stop asking the surface level questions. What do you need? I paid Jess $997. I paid Jance for her course $1,997. You think I'm not about to get my money's worth? And I'm not coming with a goal of, I want to get a lot of orders. What is a lot of orders? Let's get specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely.
So you just talked about the monetary value that you're paying essentially for that person's time. How would you calculate the return on that investment?
Might have made that back. With Jance, I'd have made that back. With Jance and with Jess, totally, I have made that money back over.
And so with people who are like, man, why would I pay this and I can go to YouTube University?
I use both. They tell me to use both. But I told you that goes back to the resources, because I can go back when we were talking about this. I'm going to go and use YouTube, Google. I even buy books. I'm an avid reader. I at least read 2 books at this point in time, 2 books a month on average right now. So I'm purchasing books. I'm also will still hit up the old school library.
Oh,
I go to the library, I go and do work, and then I'll say, hey, let me go ahead. This is what I need at this moment in time. I'll educate myself, and then I will do the work. And when I get stuck, I can go to Jance, or when I had Jess, hey, I did what you said up until this point, but this part is what I'm struggling with. Can you help? Yes, let's do it in real time.
Nice. The whole preparation. So you also spoke about, like, as we learn information, it's up to you to share it because you feel like that's what God has had you to do. At what point in that relationship do you say, I'm confident enough in this material where I'm now able to go share it to somebody?
I'm always confident because God gave it to me.
I don't think I have a follow-up for that one.
I'm always confident because God gave it to me.
How did you get there?
Because I knew that, like, I didn't go to school for fashion. The sketches, the vision, and be careful who you share your vision with, because they're not going to get it. Parents included. They had us, but they don't get it. Our Heavenly Father is who gave us a vision. They're not going to see it until they physically see it. And they're going to be like, oh. So for me, because I knew that I didn't come from a fashion, I thought I was going to be the next Oprah. Since 9 years old, I was like, I'm going to be the next Oprah. My oldest uncles, my mom's oldest brothers went to school My mom is from Nashville, Tennessee.
Come on, sit over me.
I'm telling you.
Twin.
So, right. So they went to school with Oprah. And my younger cousin, when he was a little boy, used to sweep hair at Mr. Winfrey's her dad's barbershop. He was a pillar in the community. And he just passed away not too long ago. But yeah, definitely like, so I knew watching her, she was one of the first Black, anchors in the Nashville, Tennessee area. Went to Tennessee State, dropped out at 20. Know the whole story. Like, I was on that track. I was, I'm going to be like her. But I want to have a production company like her. I wanted to do all the things. I love creating content. So it transitioned easy in that aspect. But I was like, I know how to sew a little bit. I took a couple of sewing classes in 8th grade and my senior year of high school. But I was like, I was on a whole nother journey. And he gave me everything that I've ever felt like I have to remind myself that of like, oh my God, and I pray, I'll be like, God, like I need a person, place, or thing to make this happen. And he reminds me all the time, I've already got it. Like I've already given, that is already there. It's a letter that I read to myself every day. I read that letter to myself and it says on one of the things, like, you already have the resources, the person, place, or thing that you need to accomplish that goal.
I'm going to steal that because, child, I can't do this because I need. You already have it.
You already have it. It's already there.
No.
You got to nurture it, but it's already there. It's already there.
Mm-hmm. So in your Lemon to Lemonade story, you talked about Wes McCoy coming from a bow tie brand to a plus size denim company. That ain't just turn off the switch, turn it back on, plus size denim. How did we get there? What did that look like?
So the bow tie company started because out of money. It really did. Like, we wanted to do something. Be
honest about it. Amen.
It was because me and McCoy, me and Kiva really wanted to do a women's brand. And this is why I tell people too, like, don't start listening to a whole bunch of outside noise and stuff like that. We should have kept that at the hip. Like, we should have been like working on the background because we literally was out hanging out and we came up that we wanted to start a brand. She was in fashion school. She had dropped out of nursing school to go into fashion. Wow. And so she...
That's a faith walk.
Yes. So she did that. And I was like, I'm ride or die. So then we had a friend. I had another best friend, a guy best friend at that time. And he was like, oh, we're going to do bow ties or whatever. Y'all should do men. Well, him and another couple of guy friends were like, y'all always want to do something for women. Do something for men. So we looked at the money first. Because fashion is $1 trillion business. $400 million of that is men. $600 million is women. But it wasn't our passion. Like, we learned about bow ties. He ended up, one of the best friend I'm talking about, he ended up giving us a connect of his frat brother. And we worked with him, and then we ended up finding another manufacturer based out of Lionsville, New York. We had and then we were doing a vendor show. We was doing vendor shows crazy. We was doing vendor shows. We walked in with pre-sales because we launched January 7, 2017.
When the bow ties were.
And we launched then. We came in with almost $3,000 in sales.
Before you even unpacked?
Before we even launched. We came in with $2,336. At the time, we had a mentor. So we was but we was pushing it. Like, even though it's not my passion, we both learned how to tie bow ties. It was not. Like, we was like, we had definitely, the confidence was in that though. So the confidence, we already was saying, evoke confidence to it was Wes McCoy for the confident man. So that already was like, okay, that foundation was already there. And Wes McCoy is about confidence. The plus size woman being the extension of the plus size woman's confidence. So then a guy walked up to us and I was like, this is our customer. So I was like, I know. Like, I know him. So I was like, hi, he was like, tell us a little about the brand or whatever. I gave a very generic It was no It was no passion. It was no nothing. It was very dry. I mean, it was, I'm a very bubbly person, but it was just very like body bow tie. Yeah. They're 100% woven silk. It was very like, it's 100% woven silk, and it has our monogram WM on there. And it comes in black and white or white and black, and they're $35, which we were way below, like we should have charged way more than that. He was like, oh, okay. And he walked off. I'm like, excuse me, sir? Like, right. You don't have to walk away from me. So he came back and he said, I'm an avid bow tie wearer, but the reason why I didn't buy from you is because y'all have no passion.
You got to get your story right.
So when people are like, oh, I don't need passion in business, I disagree. I disagree with that. I wholeheartedly disagree with that.
Right, because there's a reason why I'm going to go to Exxon over BP and the gas is the same.
Mm-hmm.
But they both still in business.
Especially if you want to build a brand. We're not talking about just making money. Anybody can make money.
The passion matters.
The passion is the purpose. Mm. Like, there's people who do stuff. I'll be like, I've done it where I'll be like, there's something about this brand that is just blah. It's no nothing. I'm not buying from you. Because there's 1,000 people, especially in this climate. It's not like with my mom, our parents, when they grew up, where it wasn't that many of, people selling. If it was, you were selling athletic wear, it was only Nike. Nike came later. And that book, Shoe Dog Amazing by Phil Knight, one of the founder of Nike. But like, it was Nike came later, but they had Adidas and Converse. That was it. And so now it's like, okay, you have a lot more brands. So it's like, what are you going to do to stand out?
Mm-hmm. So the decision to make it a plus size denim brand for women, how did that come about?
So I've been plus size, or I realized I was the bigger kid and I could just picture now my 5th grade school picture. Kids had already been saying things, but I remember like I had this, my hair was some up, some down, and my face was so full. I was like, I'm a big kid. Like, I'm a bigger girl. Like, the fat word, that's why I hated that word, and I had to transition that into something positive. But during that time, the only thing I could really fit to feel like I could stand out but then blend in with my peers was denim. So shopping at Old Navy, was a thing, or shopping for denim at Dillard's or Macy's or any of those things, because I could always find that. And so denim, I was the girl that had like 30 to 50 pair of denim. And now, were they all the best like fitting? No. But they definitely, I felt like, okay, I felt confident into finding that, and compared to all these trends, especially when I'm dating my age, but I grew up in the early 2000s, so denim was a thing. So get you a good denim skirt, some denim jeans. Who wasn't wearing that every day?
Every day.
I was fly. So and then I knew I could get shoes. That wasn't, I'm telling you. And so for me, that's how it started, because a friend came to me and was like, this was a friend that didn't even know me when I was younger. And she was like, you don't really wear denim like that. And I was like, because I was looking, I knew I wanted to do women at this time. But I was like, dang, like, that's it, plus size denim. And I looked it up. There was no plus size denim brand. Everybody was inclusive.
You're right.
And I say that in quotes because I don't feel like there was people that was inclusive. Because I always look at like when you're doing sizing or whatever, you gotta pick the pen up. So from extra small all the way to medium large, that's the line. And then I'll pick my pen up. And then now we go into extra large up. The grading process and the sizing and the measurements are different when you start adding curves into the mix. So then I knew, I was like, well, that's it. And I loved them. I started doing market research. And I was like, that's it. West McCoy is going to be the first plus size denim brand. And I searched high and low because I was like, it's got to be. Nope.
When we spoke yesterday, and I think when you hear West McCoy, just the name, if I born today and I heard West McCoy, I wouldn't know denim, that it was plus size denim. But the way that you market, it's a no-brainer. And that's where I struggle with. Like, you hear the Ashley Williams TV show, girl, what? Come again?
Yep.
What are you talking about? And so how do you frame your story? How did you, when you sit down to make your content, how do you go about making sure that, no, that is, when I know Kleenex, that's a tissue. Like, how did you get to that point where it's ingrained in everybody's mind?
One thing I would say, even with your, with your TV name, Ashley, I would say when you have those names like Nike, you didn't know what Nike had to tell you.
What it
so
is.
It gives you the freedom to be able to tell your story
The way
that you want to, which I love, because then I'm like, ooh, I can tell you who Wes McCoy is. I can show you who Wes McCoy is. I can show you who A Real McCoy is. So that freedom took a lot of the, ooh, I don't have boutique in my name. I don't have fashion in my name. Like, I don't have any of that. I'm going to show and tell you who Wes McCoy is and who it's for. And so I was like, once I took that in, I was like, because some people was like, that could have been a luggage. Now, a lot of people do say, like, oh, it's super expensive.
it do sound like,
It sounds very luxe, And that's on the way, because you'll have different tiers. You can do that. You can do, people dress high-low all the time. And so that allows you to expand. And it's very gender neutral. Because eventually, within the next, 3 to 5 years, we will be adding men's denim to the mix. I know that's first here, I just wanted to get it to y'all. But within the next 3 to 5 years, we want to definitely are going to add men's into the mix. Because when I was designing and sketching, my guy friend was like, that's not for just women. You know that, right? That's very gender neutral. It's very, it's not just set to women. And I didn't even know when I was designing that. But God gave me that vision. So he did that because I really was designing for women, not seeing the bigger picture myself. And I think that'll slowly come once you get more involved. And then with making my content, I'm still learning. I'm being consistent, but there be some days I'm like, maybe they not getting it. And then when you said it, and then a lot of other people have told me that they oh, we know who Wes McCoy is for. We know she's confident, and we know it's plus size denim. We know that. And I'm like, I'm just being extra hard on myself. So don't be hard on yourself, because you will find once you tell that story more and more of who the Ashleigh Williams TV is for,
they'll get it.
They're going to flock. Your tribe is going to start just flocking to you.
And let me tell you, last night I was telling my friends who were on the show, and she said, girl, give me the website because I need a pair of good jeans. It does it itself.
It does.
I love that.
It does.
How do you stay, and I think I know what you're going to say, but I want the people to hear it. I want it to hit home. How do you stay committed when social media, society tells you that you shouldn't even be making this style of clothing because we don't appreciate these group of people anyway? Right? We don't appreciate this body type. We don't think that this woman is beautiful. So what are you doing?
The numbers say different.
Oh, come on, analytics.
If we want to talk about facts, it's over 163 million, and I'm going to say this in the camera. It's over 163 million plus, women in the United States. Over 113 million of those women are plus size 10 and up. Y'all did that. So when you already, and I'm like, a size 10 ain't really plus size. That's a large, but it's not. But they have pigeonholed us into that. So we're going to go ahead and say we're plus size, mid size, whatever you want us to be. I'm going to go ahead and create this community, and you're not going to alienate us. We're not going anywhere. And you can love and hate it. Keep on watching, stay tuned for the content.
Right.
The denim, we changing people's perspective.
Yeah.
But the numbers, if you want to get facts, the numbers are what the numbers are. Period, point blank. And when you're talking about selling smaller sizes, a lot of the brands as a whole in the fashion industry, it's hard to sell a small. That's what is left over. So you have all these curvaceous plus size women that got rolls, back fat, all that. Honey, I got that. I haven't even had a kid. And I had that. My biggest weight, my top weight was 350. I was a size 22, 24. And then now I'm a 14. But I can relate. And there's no other brands, whether it's selling plus size fashion as a whole that have anybody that's on the team that, and really listening to your community, because there's millions of videos of just videos and comments on social media or just outside of social media, women, men that are like, we need it. It's a need. So the stats don't lie, and then these people's voices that you're trying to silence don't lie.
No, that's so real. Because I was like, I want to support her brand, girl. No Smalls. But that's important because your point earlier of like, oh, people want to be inclusive. No, that needs to be a space for who it needs to be a space for. And once you start diluting your brand, that's when you lose the essence of it.
Yeah.
So
I think people get a little offended with that. But like even with the Lululemon situation, when the founder, and he's not in the business anymore, but when he said, no, our leggings, our athletic wear is not for the plus size woman. Cool. I'd rather you sit up there and not lie and sell me a dream.
Yeah.
Go ahead. It's that we get offended as plus size women and mid-sized women when you lie and when you're not like, if it's not for me, cool. Show me what brand is for me so that I can go ahead and move on and give them my coin. Don't lie to me. So then when they came back, the staff and the brand came back and was like, his views don't represent the brand. I'm like, I would have flipped it because I had to take PR classes in school. I would have flipped that. You're right. We are only for this type of girl. And that's fine. But I think a lot of plus size women have said that, like, you know, these brands are saying, oh, we're plus size friendly. And we go to your store or we go to your website. It's not giving that. So many plus size so many brands that were inclusive took away extended plus and extent plus size as a whole. They've taken it away. They're back to a size 14. And it ain't even a real 14. It's not.
Shop West McCoy for your plus size denim needs. But I think that's so real, and that's not just for business. I think everybody know I hate talking about relationships, but just life in general. We spend too much time focusing on the places, people, and things that are not for us.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean anything about you.
No.
That's just not for you.
Yeah.
Go to where it is.
Yeah, and don't let anybody put that insecurity on you. Because I'm not going to be in spaces around people that is not for me. And that's just what it is. In business, personal, and like, I'm just not. You don't want me to love you, blessings.
Thank you. Next.
I'm telling you, I love Ariana.
I know.
I love her.
Man.
I had to go to a concert when she come on.
Did you go to the Chris Brown concert?
I want to go so bad. I went in 2017.
Girl.
And honey, at 150, I would pay that 150 over and over again because it was worth it. At that time. Now we talking about years later because I'm pretty sure them tickets was like $400.
Girl. Mine was like $2
But that ain't bad.
That ain't bad. Everybody trying to get
we didn't care. Look, now, was that 8 years since? Okay, $100 up. Okay. Nice little transition.
Yes. But this is another thing I want to get because you helped me with this yesterday. So I was telling you about a mentorship program that I wanted to do, and I was really struggling with it because I thought it was a good idea. And I'm gonna be honest, I was looking for a yes or a no. That's what I wanted you to say.
I wasn't gonna give you that.
I'm like, I want you to say yes or no, Sydnie, please.
And I love the mentor that you said. Like that person was my first mentor. Love it, but I'm not gonna.
How did you walk me through it though?
I told you to pray. That was the first thing I did. I said, first one, I told you to get descriptive of what the things that you need from a mentor. And then I told you to pray. Well, I told you to pray to get so that you can get direction and specific about what you need in a mentor. Then I told you to pray again for who your mentor is supposed to be. Don't put yourself in debt. I'm not putting all that stuff on my credit cards. I ain't PayPal, Afterpay, Klarna. I'm sorry, I love y'all, but, and I got that on, West McCoy got it on our site, but honey, no, don't go bankrupt trying to do all of that stuff. I'm not with none of that. And a lot of these coaches, mentors, and stuff like that, they cool, but they not my end all be all for my success. They not with you in them late nights or when you, like Drake said, you not with me when I was shooting in the gym. You wasn't. I had to figure this out. So you only can give me the level of expertise that you bring to the table. Is it necessary to go ahead? I do say that you need to have a mentor. Like, I do feel like that. But you got to have the right mentor. And that may not be the one with the, there's a lot of people in business that they not on social media. They have a wealth of knowledge. But they not on social media with hundreds of thousands and millions of followers. Like, they not. But they're way more effective to me because it teaches me that you're not in it to just be out here for the lights, camera, action. So I told you to pray. And I would tell anybody to pray for who God has for you to lead you and come into your life in that season.
One thing that you told me yesterday that really got me was if there's a lot of stress and if it's making you that uncomfortable, you losing sleep over, then that's probably not what you should be doing.
Yeah, I do.
But I feel like I stress over everything. So what's me being extra stressed?
I mean, I think you have to navigate if it's you overthinking, because I'm an overthinker. But if anybody else is in the mix and I'm like thinking about adding someone to my life personally or professionally, and you are causing me stress, the decision to add you to my life as a mentor, as a man, my man, or something like that, I'm not doing that. Like, and my mom had said this when I bought my first house. I bought my house and I had it was 2 times. So the first time I was going to close on this other place or whatever. And because the property had built up, like that property had built up a lot of debt on the HOA fees and taxes and all that, they was like, you got to come in with $13,000 all back of money, because they didn't and so my bank was like, no, because we don't know if we're going to recoup our money back on this property. So it didn't go through. And it was a lot of stress, and it was a lot of, oh God, I want to make this work. When I did the property that I ended up buying, we closed in 7 days.
Wow. He did it suddenly.
It was so easy. I put in the offer on like a Friday. She accepted on a Sunday. I got my earnest money I literally met my realtor at the time, paid my earnest money, and then we went through inspection, everything, and that was it. And I got my keys on the 14th day, but like everything else done.
Quickly. So that's a word, y'all. If it's causing you all types of heartburn, it may not be for you, baby.
Either ate something hot or...
Sydnie, please.
Now, if you ate something hot, look, that might be indigestion. But...
Wow.
I need to come back off of that. I'm telling you, your doctor's going to tell you that. Your primary care will be like, hey.
And go to the doctor.
Please. I just went the last 2 days. I was like, Jesus, Lord.
You got to get them all done at once while you in that zone.
You do, because I was like, my OBGYN, I was like, want to punch her.
Girl.
I was like, ma'am, don't push on me like that. You is not my man. And my man,
in there like,
you is not my man.
Girl, can you
thank you to my man. You is not giving that. I'm single.
Right.
She up on me. I'm sorry, it's a little pressure. A little. Girl.
Just a little bit more bread side.
She knocking the breath out of me. I was like, I love you, girl, but you.
Lift up. Let me touch you. I am a lady.
I said, I don't know if I'm coming back to you, but I'll be back next year.
And they need to hear that, because that matters. Like, how are we caring for our patients? My OBGYN, because, hi, Ashleigh. Let me just get you comfortable. She know how to sweet talk me, girl.
I love her. I do. And then she did not, like my primary doctor, because, you have to have 2 separate ones, okay? You have to have your OBGYN and your primary, okay? They need to be separate. My new primary is her son.
Really? You don't think that's too close for comfort?
No. Because they whole family. I thought, so to be in your family, it's just mandatory everybody can be a doctor? Because his sister a doctor, the daddy a doctor. I'm like, and they,
Nepotism.
But they informative.
Oh, yes.
I said,
Everybody's mad at LeBron.
Why?
I'm not.
Why they mad at him?
Because Bronny's in the Lakers. I just
We
feel
need
like
filler. Everybody can't be. Bronny may not be his father. He may not be a Kobe. He may not be a Michael. That is totally fine.
because everybody has a role to play.
Everybody got a role to play. You think he gonna be a Steph Curry? It's like crazy. We don't know that man. We don't know what he bringing to the table.
If I had the opportunity to put my child in a better position, I would take it.
I would do it. I think anybody would. If you wouldn't, you're a selfish person.
Thank you.
You are very selfish to do something like that. Now, am I thinking that is my kids? Because I already said I'm building generational wealth for generations, all the generations after me. So they can do what they want to do, not what they have to do. And I love my parents. They got me to where I needed to be. Like but I know that I am my grandparents, my parents, my great grandparents, all the generations before me. I'm their wildest dreams.
Amen. Black people deserve nepotism too.
Cause they do it. The other do it every day. One of the ladies that was in my community, I used to go and take her she went to Pace Academy. And at that time, so Pace Academy is a private school. And it's and Arthur Blank, who is the owner of Home Depot, the Falcons, all that. He and a lot of other businesses or whatever, his kids went there. His second set of kids went there. So she was in the school with them, like at her graduation. So I would be, because her mom was a nurse. So I would be if she took badminton or cross country or any of the student government, I would be in the parent teacher conferences. Let me see what Jen over here talking about in her yoga pants. All this like flashy. They come from old money and they keep their money. Not saying they don't buy nice stuff, but I think as Black people, we do get a little crazy when it comes to the materialistic things that we think that makes or break. And people will throw that out there like, oh, I got money. And I'm like, and you could still be a very broken, insecure, I'm about to say nothing person, but nobody's nobody. But I'm just saying you could be a very like self-absorbed, arrogant, horrible person and have a lot of money.
Child. Be good people, y'all.
Please.
It's not all about that. We had an episode about that. Like, I'm going to ask you the question. So, if you, and I forget the exact numbers, 2 options. Would you work and know that you only make $50,000 the rest of your life a year, but you're wildly happy? Or pick a career or passion where the earning potential is endless, but you're not happy, but your bills paid.
That's a hard word. Because I was making $55,000 a year at Turner and was happy. I had a company that appreciated me. I worked for Turner, so I worked for TNT, TBS, True, and then I helped launch HBO Max, which is now Max. I did assets for them. So all the shoot footage, I was like, I'm the gatekeeper of all shoot footage and episodes. Come see me. But yeah, so I work with all the creative directors, legal, PR, social, linear marketing, to create all the spots and commercials for linear and social for shows like Last OG, The Detour, Claws, Animal Kingdom, like those shows, and really loved that. I loved it. I loved the perks that I got with my job. I was going to New York. I loved it, and I was happy. But I always still knew that there was more.
Yeah. Oh, Sydney, this been good.
It's because of you. You stepping in your purpose. And I want to say thank you for that. Aww. Because you stepped into your purpose. You listened to God and you stepped into your purpose. Because a lot of people don't do that. It's hard, and like they say, like, you want to see people that didn't step into their purpose and they're like, shoulda, coulda, woulda. Go to a cemetery. There's a lot of dreams that are dead. I don't want it to just say Sydnie Kenitra West or Sydnie K. West, mom, wife, I wanted to say more. I want to leave this world like empty. That I gave everything that I was supposed to give, because God, I want him to be like, you did well done. Cue Dietrich Haddon.
And I don't have anything else to say. That's a good note to end it on. Sydnie, thank you again. This is not the end for us. Yes. I love you, girl. We locked in. Twin. Ain't no switching up. Thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of the Ashleigh Williams Show. If you found this information valuable, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share it with a friend. And come back next week. We will be back Wednesday.